Hey everybody, it's Sue Paget from The Change Guru. Hope you're fantastic wherever you are in the world today. I wanted to share some tips for something that I'm going through right now because it's something that is very common for women who are going through perimenopause, and that's insomnia. Now, I have had challenges with sleeping all through the night ever since my kids were born, like 25 years ago. They were not great sleepers, so I would constantly, get up in the middle of the night and have these broken sleeps. And ever since then, I've just been an incredibly light sleeper. So I've been dealing with various levels of insomnia for most of my adult life. But the thing is that during perimenopause, what happens is your progesterone levels, really change, and that also can affect how you sleep, and you can, have insomnia that way. Some women also, because of perimenopause, might get hot flashes or restless legs, that kind of feeling, so that keeps them up at night. For me, I just plain wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's that. Now, sometimes I'll go through periods, especially now that I have no kids at home, I'll go through periods where I sleep really, really well. Other times, like right now, I'm always waking up, or in the middle of the night, and it takes me some time to go back to sleep. But I've learned some ways to deal with insomnia that makes it not such a debilitating thing that it was for me in years past. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that if you're going through the same thing that I'm going through, it's really important to first go and check with your doctor to see if there is a connection between what you're going through hormonally and insomnia. It can be quite a layered thing, insomnia. It can be, what your hormones are doing. It can be what's happening outside your life. It can be a whole host of things. So sometimes it's quite challenging to pin down exactly what's going on. Once you get the clean bill of health, here are 3 tips that you can do to make life a little bit easier. The first thing is, we all know the different tips of, drinking chamomile tea and not doing a lot of computer work or just watching movies or television that's not going to stimulate you. Well, that's what you have to do. You have to bring out the big guns. So my first tip is to create a sleep sanctuary and really create a plan of attack for dealing with insomnia. So for me, that comes down to I'll really try as best as I can to not do any computer a good couple hours before I'm about to hit the sack. Same thing with TV. I just kind of want to make sure that what I'm watching, if I'm watching television, it's something that is peaceful for my mind, something that's easy for me to sleep on. Something that's really intense or whatever is probably going to keep me up. So I really purposely think about what I'm putting into my brain. The next thing is to, you can take a hot bath, and I like to take a hot bath with sesame oil and a little bit of lavender. Lavender is really relaxing and it helps you go to sleep. So nice. And it's not very expensive to get really beautiful lavender oil. And what I also do, this is the most important thing for me, is I make sure that my bedding is the most, is the best that I can afford and really, really clean. I want my bed to feel like so comfortable so that when I get into it, it's just like, oh, I'm so thankful for being in this bed. And when I wake up in the morning, I just feel thankful that I was able to spend any time sleeping in this bed. So just make sure your bedding is so comfortable, your pillows are fresh and new. Just if you're warm enough or you're cold, you have the right temperature. That's what I'm trying to say. Just make sure that bed is super, super comfortable so you're not tossing and turning because your bedding is uncomfortable. That's really, really important. I just feel like at least I can get rest. I may not be exactly getting, massive sleep, but I'm at least feeling very restful and very peaceful when I'm in bed. The second thing that I do that has really helped a lot is I keep my MP3 next to my bed with headphones because I'm sleeping with my husband, but when I wake up in the middle of the night, rather than getting up out of bed, I'll just stick my headphones on and I'll listen to a podcast. I've got plenty of podcasts that you can listen to at blogtalkradio.com/thechangeguru. Piles of podcasts. I'll listen to my favorite podcasts. I'll listen to lectures. I've gone back to university now. I often have lectures, and I just find that if I'm listening to something, my mind relaxes, and at the very least, if I can't fall back to sleep, and I often do, just listening because my mind's relaxing, at least I'm learning something. At least I'm getting motivated. So that's the second tip. Just keep your earphones next to your bed, and you'll find your mind relaxes. It's a more pleasant version of counting sheep, right? Now, the third thing that I do is that when I have days where I'm not sleeping well, I make sure that I schedule naps for days where I'm down, where I have time to take my naps. What I like to think of it is that sleep can be like a bank, and when you've taken out a lot of sleep, you're not getting a lot of sleep. That's like making withdrawal. So I use my nap time to kind of deposit into my bank account. Now, a lot of times we feel guilty for scheduling in naps, and especially if you're working full time. This is really important to schedule those naps on your weekends or on your day off. You don't need a lot of time to catch up on your sleep, but just actually diarize it in so that you actually are committed to sleeping. I think a lot of times I like to think of these times where I don't sleep well. I think back to when I first had my kids, and I always noticed that when they had a bad night's sleep, where they're up all night, they were going through really tremendous growth periods. I mean, I really started to connect that my daughter might be teething when she was up a lot, or she was really starting to be able to put sentences together. And I like to think it's the same thing for us at midlife. During these times when we are waking up in the middle of the night, it's kind of our time to know that we're changing, we're growing, we're creating. I know that for me, when I can't sleep and the earphones aren't doing it and the comfy bed's not doing it, I'll just get up in the middle of the night and I'll write. I mean, I've written most of the first book that I'm just about to finish. I wrote most of that in the middle of the night. I do a lot of my university work in the middle of the night. So if you go and you get things done and you take advantage of these hours when you're the only one up, it can actually be quite beautiful. So I love the idea of thinking that, ooh, we've got actually some really cool growth happening, and that's what's keeping us up. All right, so I hope these 3 tips were helpful to you. So the first tip is make your bed a sanctuary. Just make it as comfortable as you possibly can, and just do all the things that we've heard about that help us get to sleep, whether it's taking a nice hot bath, using a little bit of lavender oil, drinking some hot chamomile tea, just deplugging from your computers and your electricals. Second thing, just keep some little light earphones next to the bed and listen to podcasts or listen to inspirational audio, just something that will kind of rest your mind or help you learn to take advantage in a really quiet, peaceful way. It's really helpful, I found that. And the third thing is just schedule some sleep in so that you can kind of bring up that balance in your little sleep bank. All right, so I hope those helped you. Have a great night's sleep tonight, and even if you don't worry. It's all okay. I feel like even though we know that sleep is so important for us, as long as you're catching up on it, everything is cool. All right, have a super week. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye for now.